Hi students. So in the last class we studied about the meaning of economics, the definition of economics, what are we going to study in the economics, and how did economics develop as a science in the Western countries, correct? So today we are going to start with the different definitions of economics as given by different economists. So we are going to study definitions by four major economists who are Adam Smith, Alfred Marshall, Lionel Robbins, and Paul Samuelson. So let us start with the first definition of economics given by Adam Smith. Now, according to Adam Smith had defined economics as the study of the nature and causes of the wealth of nations. This definition he had given in his book called The Wealth of Nations. Now it explains the nature and the causes of wealth with a particular nation. Wealth means money. Okay, so what is the nature of money? And what are the reasons? How does a nation earn money? It is covered under this topic. Now, Adam Smith was the person, or Adam Smith was an economist who established economics as a social science, which means that anything which deals with humans, human efforts, human feelings is known as social studies. And economics is now called social science because it deals with human efforts combined with scientific methods. We use scientific methods to study economics. We use scientific methods to present the data in economics. We use scientific methods to analyze those data. That is why economics is called a social science. And now, because of Adam Smith, economics is now studied as an independent field of science, and it is no longer studied under general philosophy. In the earlier times, economics was studied under general philosophy. Let's discuss the second definition of economics by Alfred Marshall. We've studied it in our live lecture. I'm just going through it for revision. Now, he has defined economics as a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. Ordinary business of life means day-to-day life. And what do we do in our day-to-day life? We seek material well-being. Well-being means we want to satisfy our wants through materials, products, physical goods or services. And this well-being is attained by material consumption. If we want to be satisfied, we have to consume that. If I want to eat pizza, my want of eating pizza will satisfy only when I eat pizza. Correct? So this is a very narrow but important definition of economics. Again, let's study the third definition of economics by Lionel Robbins. He has defined economics as the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. As I said, ends means our wants. How our wants of humans are unlimited and recurring. But the means, the resources to fulfill those wants are scarce, which means limited in nature and have alternative uses. Means they have more than one uses. Okay. So economics, according to him, studies the problem of allocating the scarce resources in the satisfaction of human wants. So according to him, economics studies the problem of allocating the scarce resources. How will I employ my scarce resources because they are minimum? Okay, resources are limited and my wants are unlimited. So how do I allocate the resources to fulfill my wants? And according to him, economics is a positive science which talks about how people behave. And it is not a normative science which talks about how a person should behave. Economics does not tell us how a person should behave. It tells us how a person actually factually behaves. Clear? The next definition of economics is by Paul Samuelson, who defines economics as the study of how people and the society end up choosing, with or without the use of money. Now, what do they choose? To employ scarce productive resources. Okay. Now, how are these resources that could have alternative uses? Why do I allocate the resources? To produce various commodities over time. What after production? I will distribute them for consumption now or in the future among various persons in the economy. This definition of economic analyzes the cost and benefits of improving the already settled pattern of resource allocation. If I have already decided I will allocate my resource in this way, in this ratio as 2 as to 3 as to 4. Now if I want to change that ratio, what is the cost of changing that ratio and how much benefit, how much faida I will get after changing that ratio. So this definition of economics talks about choice that humans and society make, allocation of resources, how will I allocate the resources, and evaluating the cost and benefits of doing so. Now, as we discussed, what do we mean by economic activities? All the activities which are performed with the purpose of getting economic benefits. Now, how do I get economic benefits? In the form of income, exchange of goods or services and factors. All these activities should involve cost. Okay, there should be a cost of performing those activities. Now, what are the examples of economic activities? Eating in restaurant, watching a movie in theater. Here we incur cost. We spend our money for our satisfaction, for our entertainment. Now, there are many professions in the society which do economic activities. Okay, like the farmers, the lawyers, the teachers, the actors. They all spend money. They all do their activities for earning money. A lawyer fights a case in the court to earn money, not for free. Nobody does it for free. But when activities are performed without the purpose of obtaining gains or obtaining benefits, that is known as non-economic activities. When activities are performed where both the sides do not have any benefit, that is known as non-economic activity. For example, I do charity. Okay, I'm doing social service. So there is no economic benefit on either of the side, and this is known as non-economic activities. Now, to do non-economic activities, I have to incur cost. If I am doing charity, I have to incur a cost. Okay, if I am giving food for free, I have to buy that food or I have to make that food, and that cannot be for free. So these activities incur cost, but the cost incurred is not incurred to get some monetary benefit. पैसे कमाने के लिए मैं नहीं करती हूँ. Any economic benefit or economic goods के लिए I do not do. So that is why it is a non-economic activity. A single person may behave as economic activity and may behave as a non-economic activity. Okay, the bai which comes to your home to do your housework is doing economic activity because she's doing it for free. But the same bai doing the same work at her home is non-economic activity because she's not getting money out of it. She's not doing it for money. So a same person can do the same work at different places, and that different places can be identified as economic or non-economic activities. Clear? So this is all for today. That was the revision of whatever we did in today's class, and thoda bahut new topics I have taken. So in the next class, we are going to do micro and macroeconomics and the different ways in which data can be presented in economics. So that's all for today. Bye. Thank you and have a nice day.